Upsets always get the fans psyched up, so you know they're really juiced when Little Tiger, driven by Brian Barfel, takes advantage of the gunslinger's mistake to move to the next round against Mopar Magic. Scott Hartsock finally gets the Ford straightened out and sneaks into the grid as the fast loser against Barefoot. Disqualification. Little Tiger and Outlaw dueled in the semifinal round. It wasn't pretty, but the Little Tiger Chevy earns the right to go to the final round against Barefoot. On the fast round track, it was all business. Tom Mentz and Monster Patrol had some problems with the Chevy versus Tony Farrell and Wild Thing. Patrol loses his rear springs. In the semifinal round, Wild Thing faced off against Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger. Digger seemed to have the victory in hand when he hits the jump a little too hard and blows an engine that was borrowed from Monster Patrol. Wild Thing also had a bit of a problem in the semifinal round. In the debut race for the unique skull design, Tony Farrell blows his top on the jump.
We were flying. Me and Dennis Anderson was racing, so of course we was all full bore.
Wouldn't back down. Digger gets the 1950 Chevy a little squirrely off the line as Parker is just able to recover. Not that one by Bigfoot, Littlefoot, but by Paul Schaefer and his Monster Patrol. Monster Patrol's aggressiveness on the course sent this one flying. Eric Meager and Bigfoot easily won a second-round battle over Bulldozer, but the Ford pays the ultimate price as the drive shaft pushes into and breaks the transfer case, but is able to move to the next round against the all-new Wild Thing. Todd Frolic and Barefoot were out of the running early when the Dodge has trouble handling the back end and trashes it against Barbarian. After knocking out Monster Patrol, fan favorite Tony Farrell and Wild Thing moved on to the semifinal round against hometown hero Predator. Coming over the crush cars, Predator wasn't pretty, but it was good enough to advance to the final round against Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger.
To the next round of competition. Tony Farrell's Wild Thing tested everybody's nerves when he almost tips it over, although he loses to Carolina Crusher.
Hey, you see him try and save it? He always going around. He almost saved it. And I was watching him in freestyle. I told Ricky, my crew guy, I said, he's going to be the freestyle man tonight. And I was keeping my eye on him, and if he can cut out a donut without rocking the truck up.
Truck race action. Here's a great matchup early between two legends. Bigfoot on the bottom, Barefoot on the top. This one is close, but it goes to Bigfoot as he gets the nod into the next round. Semifinal round versus Taurus with the win. But that's where Mintz gives new meaning to the phrase, that was close. In unbelievable fashion, he saves Monster Patrol from flipping over. What a move by Tom Mintz. Indeed, you deserve to take a bow after that one. That'll be a classic IMJ moment on IMJ. Here we go to the other semifinal round race where Bigfoot faces off against Gravedigger. Digger is able to come away with the victory, but in the finals, he would lose to Taurus. Although Taurus and Eldon Depew will actually roll it over during the freestyle portion of the competition. It was a wild, wild night in Seattle. Well, IMJ is really catching fire on ESPN2. Actually, it's Gary Bauer's Nightmare 2, who after a close loss to Snakebite in the semifinals, burst into flames. Luckily, Bauer is a firefighter during the week, so he had the situation under control with his onboard fire extinguisher. Snakebite and Sky Hartley. Now, Snakebite knew that Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger would not be a walkover in the finals. Anderson actually has to save the truck from rolling over. He reels it back in, launches over the finish line, but Snakebite comes out just ahead. Sky Hartley is our 1/900 Pro Race winner.
Nelson made another chance inside the grid as he qualified for fast lap honors in a showdown with his former team. Nelson and Bustin' Loose accomplished the upset victory and a one-way ticket to his first final round of the year when the rear steering broke on the Digger truck. Huffaker ended up hitting the wall after the finish line with minimal damage to the Chevy. Monster Maniacs were riveted to their seats for racing on the drag-style straight-line course. In early round action, Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger against Bustin' Loose. In typical Digger fashion, he broke the rear end, then slammed the 50 Chevy hard into the safety wall. Sold-out Astrodome crowd. Now check out Lyle Hancock, who filled in for the injured Tony Farrell of Wild Thing. In qualifying, he was paired against his former boss, Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger. Hancock was a driver for the Gravedigger team for Dennis Anderson until they had a falling out. So you knew there may have been a little more at stake than just a race between these two. In fighting for the win, it was Hancock actually having Wild Thing ahead until the 4-link bar broke that caused that rollover. Hancock was okay in this crash, but the truck was done for the night. Scott Stevens and King Crunch got a little squirrely off the crushed cars here, just avoided getting T-boned by Reptoid and ended up against the safety wall. Believe it or not, in the next round, he faced Jesse Berge and playing for keeps. Berge's 1993 Chevy was a little wide on the corner. The four Monster Maniacs, 12 trucks battled on the dirtless roundy-round course. In round one action, Chris Roy's high anxiety was the first casualty of the night. Jackie Willman was behind the wheel of Taurus. He got the win, but suffered the damage. He defeated Fred Schaefer's Barefoot in this race, but in the process, lost a wheel to knock him out of the running. Willman just had too much bounce coming off the crushed cars. Consistency on the circuit, and he drove his Chevy nice and steady over the crushed cars in the finale. At the halfway mark, both were neck and neck in a race too close to call. But in the final drive to the finish, Porter couldn't hold on to the turn and spun out before the finish line. Dan Runte and the Big Blue Ford Bigfoot is your winner. On the second night of racing, Excalibur wasn't smooth off the crushed cars, but his run against Nightmare was good enough to get him into the final round, the drag-style straight-line course. Gary Porter's Carolina Crusher tested the rebound in his tires on this winning run against the Avenger. But with the win under his belt, there's no way Tom Mintz was going to have any of that. The crowd is going bonkers as Tom Mintz donuts the Chevy so hard it flips over. Madman Mintz was okay, but the Monster Patrol had lost its wing.
Oh, I didn't care. The fans were pumped up out there. They wanted some donuts. They got some good donuts, so I'm going to give them full donuts fever.
You just knew it was going to happen. Third course claimed its first victim when Mike Drobick in Priority 1 racing against Bigfoot and Dan Runte turned it upside down. It was a close race between Little Tiger and Texas wild card driver Jack Kobima and Cyborg, who had to be shut down via the RII. In the next round against Tom Mintz and Monster Patrol, though, Huffaker violently tossed the Digger over, totally destroying the fiberglass body. Gravedigger and Huffaker rolled back out for freestyle. And can you believe it? He rolled over one more time. Final, Undertaker got a little bit too high off the crushed cars, while Andy Hoffman and Nightmare took the low road to the finish line for the win.
I need you to step on out of the car, son. You'll have to come with us. Oh, no, not again.
Showdown. The Ford was pumped up on its way to the finish line, but on the last turn, it went up on two wheels again. This time, though, Meager cannot save the truck. It gives Monster Patrol the win.
Round. Paul Schaefer came back out for freestyle, and he sure didn't disappoint the sold-out Tampa crowd when he broke his rear wheel. And they would put on an exclamation point to a great night of racing. Extreme Overkill locked up on the line, giving Excalibur the easy run to the finish line for the weekend sweep. In qualifying for the big show, Jack Kobina and his two-wheel drive Cyborg turned heads with a very respectable time of 11.04, placing him 5th on the grid, although the body would need a bit of work by the time he gets it back into the pit.
10 of the top monsters in the world filled out the grid for the three-day, three-event face-off. What better matchup to kick off this classic than Bob Chandler's Bigfoot driven by Dan Runte against Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger. Although only a qualifier, both drivers drove the extremely fast U-turn course hard. Now, Digger's Chevy went around the jump instead of over it. That would earn him a red flag. Now, Anderson continued to find his groove as he defeated that pesky reptile snakebite to earn the final round berth. Despite the loss, Eric Meager gave the Charlotte crowd more to cheer about IMJ Championship round. Even in the losing effort, Anderson and Gravedigger found a way to ignite the crowd in freestyle. When top qualifier Kirk Dabney and Overkill spun at the U-turn section, it looked as if Botters was headed toward the semifinals. But Dabney recovered and then made a great run to the finish line to edge out Boogie Van for the win. Botters demonstrated just how slick the track was when she slid across the infield after her run was over. 16 up-and-coming trucks stuck around and competed in the exhibition match. What do you expect from the biggest truck fest in the world? Scott Stevens and King Crunch were on their way to the victory over Survivor in the quarterfinals until the vicious landing off the crushed cars destroyed his truck in one of the most brutal crashes ever. Now, this crash is a testament to the safety precautions that all monsters must abide by, because Stevens emerged uninjured, although he was brought to the local hospital as a precaution.
And that's about the worst crash that we've had in a long time with a monster truck.
How does that one rack up insofar as crashes you've seen?
That was almost a 10 on bad crashes. I mean, it was one of the worst ones I've seen. End over end is bad.
The showdown was a classic between two of the world's best trucks. Mintz and Monster Patrol seemed to get off the line cleanly, but in the U-turn section of the track, he spun the Chevy out, giving Bigfoot the clear sailing to the finish. That makes Dan Runte our third 1/900 Pro Race Final Showdown winner in 3 championship races.
The balmy conditions in the Alamo Dome seemed ideal for the side-winding tornado driven by Tim Sewell. In semifinal action, he was up against John Seasock and Sudden Impact. Now, tornadoes are well known for their sporadic paths, and this one was no different as Sewell veers off course and nearly flips his Ford truck. The victory would go to his opponent, Sudden Impact, who experiences just that as he demolishes his rear end off the big jump.
Tom Mintz was able to get his wheel repaired and return to dazzle his fans. The pesky tire would get away from him once again, but Mintz was determined to give his fans Gravedigger, not to be outdone, wheelies the track before the victor goes head over heels in a tire-slinging display of Monster Mania in Minneapolis.
Robert Parker in the Gravedigger. First of all, are you okay? Oh, yeah, man. We got a tore-on trunk, though.
Houlihan Stadium with a romping freestyle. Pat Summitt was able to get Thrasher up and running again as he delighted the crowd of Gunslinger truck. He's forced out as Carolina Crusher is called in to replace him, once again going up against Gravedigger. A bad start for Crusher, and it's deja vu as Dennis Anderson against Monster Patrol. Todd Frolic and Barefoot got squirrely off the big jump. Nice save, but it's Monster Patrol, and that's just what he got, nearly rolling it in the corner as Ron Nelson and Bustin' Loose blew past him. For Alan Pizzo and Predator gave it just a little too much against Chuck Jordan and Survivor. But look at this save.
You were looking straight up at some lights. What happened?
I guess I gave it way too much throttle over that first hill and got myself in trouble.
Are you okay?
I'm all right.
We're certainly the whoops when Digger nearly toppled in the corner. Hang in there. Then it's Monster Patrol. Same angle, getting a little overzealous, and the big Chevy goes down.
Bigfoot kicked things off with a quick jump in the outside lane, sailing past Ground Pounder, who came down on one wheel, and that did it. A rollover in round 1. Gravedigger barreling his way towards the jump. He gained plenty of speed, going up and nearly over as he nosedived off the tabletop. This girl couldn't believe her eyes. Here it is again. Digger was sidelined with technical problems as Dan Runte and Bigfoot took the win. Check that out. Nelson goes over and out as Bustin' Loose capsized, much to the delight of the fans.
Barefoot had some trouble over the first whoop as Scott Stevens and King Punch took off on the straight run. Then end-note on the big jump. He was able to save the vehicle to advance. Dan Runte blasted the Bigfoot Ford off the line, dropping Ron Nelson and Bustin' Loose literally out of the picture as he sails over the final jump. Hang in there, Dan. He regained control, moving Team Bigfoot into second round action. Sting and Bigfoot squared off at the line, and the Fords were even off the first jump. Sting takes the lead off the second whoop. Then, going into the final jump, he misses his mark. Eric Tack saved the truck on the landing as Dan Runte and Bigfoot went long off the crush cars to move into the final showdown.
And Monster Patrol to battle it out as Todd Frolic gets a sizable jump in his newfound Chevy. It was Monster Patrol going huge off the final jump as Barefoot gets off course, taking out the other lane's crush cars.
Steve, like we say on IMJ, you're the best, buddy!
Carolina Crusher squared off against Eric Tack and Sting in round 2 action. Crusher got the jump on Sting, who went a little off course at the start. It looked like Carolina Crusher had it wrapped, but he bogged on the straightaway as Eric Tack powered up the big Ford to advance Sting into the finals. And the fans... Little Tiger and Barefoot kicked things off on the lengthy roundy-round track. The big jumps meant lots of air for the monsters, and the tacky dirt made for tricky cornering. Brian Barthel handled his Chevy cautiously in the U-turn, then threw caution to the wind on the final straightaway, trying to clear 2 successive jumps. He made a nice save, but blew his rear tire on the landing as they would take on Brian Womack and Barefoot. Mintz able to clear the double jump that gave Little Tiger trouble. Then he punches it in the turn and would launch the Chevrolet, but unevenly off the jump. Then it was holding on for the ride of his life as the beast twisted and turned in a phenomenal display of power and destruction. Now the fans at Texas Stadium were going crazy. They couldn't get enough. Unscathed, Mintz emerged from the wreckage to salute all his fans.
We won Friday night. I had a little bit of mechanical trouble during the show. Today, going for the win.
They wanted to see more air, and Bigfoot let them have it. That. Then came Digger barreling over the jump. He blew a tie rod, losing control, but miraculously saved the black and green wrecking machine from a rollover.
Carolina Crusher got a good jump on Snakebite at the start. The hometown favorites soared off the jumps, but from out of nowhere came Eric Tack and Snakebite with a monstrous pounce at the finish line to just edge out the Crusher, running out of track in the process.
You know that Dennis Anderson guy?
No, never heard of him.
He was just behind you, and I was trying to get you in trouble by saying something bad. Is that right?
In the back of that Chevrolet. And
Oh, my. Predator hard on the brakes now. That big kitty comes to a halt.
they've done such a good job. Whoa, baby.
Looked like Monster Patrol's going to pick up the win in that one. Sure isn't. Here we go. Executioner, Gravedigger.
Hello, come on.
Backed it right up to the wall.
That's the way you park one of them.
Listen to the crowd cheering the Gravedigger. There's Dan Patrick sitting inside of Simpson, ready to go. Oh boy. Both trucks going sky high, but Sampson.
The Hemi is hot.
Patrick on the right, Monster Patrol on the left. Monster Patrol as Patrick gets a little too much air.
I'm telling you, he looked like a monster truck on Viagra when he went right straight up like that.
I thought he might have been in trouble. Dennis Anderson set to go.
Oh, Barefoot just covered him off the line.
Barefoot nailed him on the line.
Oh, and they knocked the tire off of it.
And he lost the tire. Look at that. The rear tire comes off.
That's a planetary gear, and it's ripped the planetary off of it.
And he's got a bunch of fans in Houston from just down the road in Spring, Texas.
All right, let's watch. See how he does. Boy, it's going to be tough taking this turn.
This is the key, and oh, he's up on his lid.
Scott Stevens has rolled over.
I was just about to say the whole turn is the key. We got to see if he's all right down there, Mike.
And he's the fastest qualifier from that first round, so Executioner getting another shot here.
See if he can hang with the Monster Patrol, the big, powerful Chevrolet, and Tom Mintz, who gets around turning courses brilliantly. Tight race. Boy, Monster Patrol pulls it out.
Barely. That was tight.
But we know he's got great equipment. Let's see what he can do with it.
Schmidt is out of Indiana.
Oh, he almost went over. Did you see the way the front end nose dove on him? He still eked out the win, but that was closer than I thought it would be. Right, it's right here in the first round.
And you can hear a little extra noise from this crowd. Wow, great jump by Captain America.
Impressive run by Captain America. Certainly Survivor, the more veteran of these two trucks, the more experienced, the one a lot of us are used to seeing up and down the road. But I'll tell you, Captain America, a good-looking truck, and he came ready to race for Sampson here.
Maniac the underdog in this, but certainly he thinks he can do it on this course.
Look at the air that Sampson gets. He absolutely launches off that jump. I was impressed the first run for Captain America. Now he takes on the legend. Good start for Captain America. Digger had to give it everything he had to win that race, so you got to get a great start. Both trucks got off the line well. They come to the jump. Look at the power we talked about, that Keith Black Hemi engine, but Sampson is looking really like he's limping at the end. Did you see the way the cab just fell over?
Yeah.
Like you're talking about one of the all-time legends in this sport. He's been one of the greats year in and year out. His rivalry with Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger is legendary. He's taken an upstart on here in Brian Barthel and Little Tiger. Right now, Barthel would love to put Carolina Crusher on this trailer.
Oh, there's a... Whoa! He really did a great save there, but that's going to hurt Crusher.
That cost him big time, but I'll tell you, you mentioned it, Mike, a great piece of driving, but there we get it, the upset. Little Tiger knocks him off because we're going to see him back in action tonight, and we've always talked about the power of Barefoot, that huge Keith Black Hemi engine.
And Barefoot gets off to a great start and negotiates that turn pretty good. It is really tough when you have that much power to get woed down enough to make that turn.
Huge early lead for Barefoot, but he's losing it. He's up on two wheels, trying to keep it straight. Big problems for Barefoot. Something's gone. Something is absolutely broken. He had the race won. Reptoid has still not finished the course. Jim Jack, if he can get back on the course and come around and finish it, would win the race. Frolic did not cross the finish line. This is crazy.
This course really wears and tears on these monster trucks.
It's going to be tough on equipment all night, but, you know, they still haven't stopped the clock on that race because there's what happened. Jim Jack will actually finish the course and win the race.
Did not get slowed down enough, tried too hard to make that turn, and...
there he comes. Reptoid's going to get the win. I don't think I've ever seen a race quite like that. Jim Jack goes to the next round. He has to go up against the legend, the world's most popular monster truck, Dennis Anderson, the original behind the wheel of the Gravedigger, another truck that loves turning courses. You can see how well he gets through the turn.
I was going to say, that first turn, he really got through it, up and over that line of cars, and Gravedigger is motoring here.
Almost slipped off the course, but you can see how far ahead he is. Dennis Anderson with a truly dominant performance. And he kind of gives it a little classic Dennis Anderson finish.
Got to wonder, does Gary Porter have the flag? Well, they're underway, and on the far lane there, you see Gary Porter and Carolina Crusher making that turn, but he gets a little bit too wide. Gary Porter off the course a little bit.
That's going to be a DQ, Mike. He's completely off the course.
Gunslinger of Scott Hartsook. And they're ready to go. And I'd say Gunslinger might be the favorite in this here. And it is Gunslinger, as you watch him take that turn barefoot. A little trouble getting around the turn. That's to slow down a lot. And that really hurts him. Gunslinger on the win here.
Yeah, it was the turn that absolutely annihilated barefoot in this run as Ronald. Schaefer should have an advantage here, but never count Pam Vodder's out.
Paul Schaefer in Monster Patrol. One of the favorite trucks on this circuit. Boy, he flies down the straightaway. Look at him take that turn. That's a great job of getting that truck turned around. And it's going to be Monster Patrol. Whoa, Vodder's had some problems getting off the course there. Now, on these boards, you'd have to say again that Gunslinger is the favorite, but Nightmare has been running this track very well, and they're pretty even the front straightaway. Let's see how they take the turns. Nightmare does a pretty good job. But now here come down the final straightaway. It is going to be Gunslinger. Gunslinger, your winner. But Nightmare gave him all he could handle.
It was just one bobble from Gary Bauer in Nightmare, and that's all it took. Gunslinger smooth all the way around. Scott Hartsock gets the win. But as you mentioned, Mike, he got to give Nightmare a tip of the hat. I think he was a sprint car, only a 10,000-pounder.
Exactly. We're ready to go here with the second of our semifinals. And a pretty good start for both of these trucks. They're dead even down the straightaway. Let's see how they take the turns. Monster Patrol, oh my. Gravedigger looks like he's going to go on to win. Monster Patrol had some problems in the turn.
What happened to that old championship flag that he and Gary Porter used to trade back and forth? That story won't go away either. But now we got a green flag.
We do have the green flag, and Gravedigger takes the early lead, but coming into the turn, oh, Digger goes on two wheels. Gravedigger has turned on its side. Dennis Anderson, in an effort to put a little extra oomph into it, turned it on its side. Gunslinger's our winner. Dennis Anderson looks to be okay, but a tough break. Remember, this is a U course. The turn is very, very critical. So is the beginning. Looks pretty even early. Monster Patrol may have a little edge heading into this turn. And as they make it, here comes Sampson over the crush cars. Boy, it's very, very close. That's Digger, who is on the top of your screen. Far lane. Barely even heading down to the first turn. Wow, what a great job in the turn. What an amazing job by Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger. Digger wins it. And what a job he did handling that truck in the turn.
Crusher is one of those that has gone to the roots forever. It's been a stock Chevrolet, a stock appearing Chevrolet, and I think that's what so many people love about Carolina Crusher. Gary Porter, just a no-nonsense guy. He just goes to win.
All right, now it's horsepower as they're making the turn. It looks like it is all Carolina Crusher. Whoa! Oh, my. Oh, no.
Wow, listen to this crowd. They're going nuts. And so Gary's all right. The top of the machine is sheared, but you can see the roll cage held intact. So let's keep an eye out as Gary is moving around, and that looks good. The U.S. Hot Rod officials right on the scene talking to him. But again, Barefoot kind of figures this is his home place. He's had great success here. Set a world long jump record in this building, as a matter of fact.
Gunslinger gets up a bit on those back wheels. That's going to hurt his time a little, and it is indeed. Gunslinger back behind. He is not going to win. It is Barefoot. Barefoot takes it here in round one. We get ready for Monster Patrol and Predator.
Predator got out of the gate well, but look at Monster Patrol come on.
And let's watch him in the turns as they take it. That's Monster Patrol there. He is not taking it like he did that first run. Monster Patrol. Wow, he got some air. Oh, my. And the crowd loves that. Monster Patrol.
Dan Patrick, one of the best, and he's going to try and pull the upset right here. But Patrick is always double tough to beat. Let's see how Sampson runs now.
All right, that is Sampson down at the bottom of your screen. And, whoa, there is trouble in the turn. Sampson is going to win, but Pizzo just could not get his truck turned around.
I can't tell you how many times these two have met in a championship race over the years. Here they're just trying to make it into the semifinals because of this all-star cast in the dome.
Both get off to a great start. We'll see how they do coming down into the turn. Barefoot strong there. So is Digger. This is Digger's strength in that turn. Grave Digger is going to win. Oh, my. Todd Frolic got up on two wheels a little bit going over those cars, but give Dennis Anderson some credit. This is where they really be focused. Camera's going down now.
Can't afford to lose here either. No fast loser coming out. Oh, Monster Patrol really nose dove. It kind of stuck the nose, and now it's
up on two wheels. That's going to kill him.
That's it.
It's going to be Sampson who's going to win. Paul Schaefer got up on two wheels in the turn, and it was all she wrote from there.
Boy, when we think about it, these trucks running for that Pace Motorsports $100,000 championship point fund, Predators have a great chance to make up some ground here.
But it was an awesome start by Dennis Anderson. He's up on two wheels in the turn, but holds it straight. Great job by Dennis Anderson, and Grave Digger goes on to win to advance to the finals. Listen to the crowd. That flag signifies that he has won the last one of these TV events here on TNN. And they're off. Here we go with the finals. Heading down towards the turn. Digger's got him in the turn. Grave Digger beat him to the turn. Can he hold on? Yes, he will. That rough left side track, just too much for Dan Patrick to overcome. And he is a tough one. You know, we talk about this being a driver's track. Pizzo might be one to beat, but there's Monster Patrol, bottom of your screen. Monster Patrol with a big hold shot.
Slid off the back.
Wow.
Monster Patrol slid off the back of the course. And Pizzo wins it in the Predator. Wow.
So now you get Grave Digger in the semifinals.
Grave who? Grave Digger? Who's that? Oh, yeah. I seen him on TV one time. Yeah, he's pretty good, isn't he?
But only one's going to the finals. Todd Frolics had 11 barefoot. Let him go after each other. You know, he's going to sit back and wait.
We're in the final run here. The semifinals.
Wide turn by Dennis. That hurts him.
What a great turn by Tom Ince, and Bulldozer living up to the top. He's done it. Oh, the crowd is stunned here. And Bulldozer and Tom Ince, look at the excitement, how quick he jumped out of that.
Does it feel good right now?
Yeah, it does. It feels great. Ah!
And Barefoot is ready to rock.
Let's see how Todd handles the Chicago-style roundy-round course into the turn. Both trucks do it real well. Race is tight. Now coming for home, it's who can get the job done. Oh, look, Predator almost went over. Predator almost rolled it over, and this race is over. Barefoot wins. Alan Pizzo with a masterful save.
Take it away. You guys get to the pits.
Who are those guys?
I have no idea.
Said I plan to pull off a couple of upsets. We'll see what he can do here against Little Tiger. Pretty even off the start. Almost dead even as they head down to the turn.
Boy, they are dead even. A great race. Now remember, good start for Mountaineer. Little Tigers run against these guys before here on Motor Madness. As a matter of fact, he's made the Final Four a couple of times.
Little Tiger trying to take that turn a little too hard. Oh, Little Tiger goes over. Wow, what a tough break for Brian Barthel, and here comes Mountaineer to pull off the win in round one. Little Tiger just couldn't make that turn.
That big win here, but you know you can't even get to the Final Four of the finals until you can come up with a first-round win. They both want this one bad, and they both think they can win this race.
All right, and they are underway here, and as through the first turn, a little bit of trouble. Trouble for Scott Stevens. Had to actually back that truck up. Did not make the turn. That is going to kill him. And here comes Reptoid around. Knows all he's got to do now is run smooth. Oh, man, he just saw it. We were in the background there. The wheel came off. I saw that wheel rolling off. Scott Stevens had problems from the get-go in this thing.
This is not a run that's going to end up on Scott Stevens' highlight reel, except for what can happen in a monster truck. First of all, he misses the turn. You can see right there, if he takes that sonotube out, that way they're going to DQ him because he was going to maul it rather than just kind of bump the thing. Now as he comes around, he corrects it, and let's watch what happens, because all of a sudden when he hits the wheel, wow, it just busted on him.
Well, it just broke there, and we were focused in on.
Again, that's significant of who won the last main event here on TNN Motor Madness.
What a season he's had. And Grave Digger over that first set of crushed cars is a little bit out in front. Monster Patrol trying to take the turn. Has to back out of it big time on the turn.
Yeah, he got big trouble in the turn. Wow.
Grave Digger now knows just got to run a smooth one, and it's over. Monster Patrol recovered a little bit, but it's not going to be enough. Grave Digger and Dennis Anderson on to win here in round one, and Anderson.
We made all the canoe rods for this thing.
You see the checkered flag on the back? He's got that for winning the race a week ago, but the flag used to belong to that man, Bulldozer. And Tom Mintz, and Bulldozer gets a lot of air, as he usually does, around that turn. Here it's Grave Digger.
They're even. They're dead even.
They are dead even. We will see how they negotiate this final turn. Digger does it very, very smooth, but so does Tom Mintz. He's got some horsepower. Let's see.
Oh, my.
That's too close to
Who
call.
won? Done that for years. Not only is he a great racer, he keeps his equipment together. Now, though, he knows he's got to go full out to beat Grave Digger.
And let's remember that Dennis Anderson has had a little problem with his back as he points that nose down over that first jump. He said, you know, that's a problem. It almost knocks the wind out of him. So we'll see what happens and how it affects him as now they come around and take this final turn. Digger. Oh, my! Grave Digger.
What a piece of driving. What an incredible save that was, Mike.
Crusher's going to win.